Let's jump right into the making of this square. To begin with, you're going to make a magic circle. I do this by laying one end over the other, pinching, and then just pulling the strand of yarn through. I'm going to work double crochet, so I chain 2, and then I just begin working double crochet directly into the center of the circle. For this pattern, you will need to work 12 double crochet into the magic circle. Once you have 12 worked in there, simply pull the end. Hopefully yours is a little bit longer than mine, so it cinches the magic circle shut, and then you can join with a slip stitch to your first double crochet of the round, like so. Ta-da! 12 double crochet in a circle. I'm going to pull my strand up to do a standing double crochet instead of a turning chain. Feel free to rewind if you need to watch again how I did that. I am placing 2 double crochet in each stitch this row. That will give me 24 at the end of the round. And again, I will join with a slip stitch to the beginning of the round. And again, I will pull my loop up to the height of the next row, where I'll begin my puff stitches. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop. And a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time. This is how we create the puff stitch. Yarn over, pull through all, and then chain 2. Skip 1 stitch. We're going to puff stitch again in the next one. Pull up 4 times. 2, 3, 4. You should have 9 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yarn over, pull through all 9 loops on your hook, chain 2. You do this all the way around, join with a slip stitch in top of the first puff stitch of the round. I'm now going to cut my yarn because I want to change colors, but you could continue with the same color if you want to. Now I'm going to begin with a slip knot on my hook, and I'm basically going to work a granny square around this circle. So I'm going to begin by working 3 double crochets into any of the spaces from the previous round. Chain 2, 1, 2, and then work 3 more double crochets in the same space, which will give me my first granny square corner. Chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next space. If you've worked a granny square before, you know exactly what I'm doing right here, which is why I didn't go terribly slow. Chain 1, next space. And now we're going to begin making the next corner. So again, it's the 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets in the same space. And I will continue doing this all the way around until I have my completed square. Once I've reached the end of the row, I will join with a slip stitch here, and I'm going to chain 1, turn, and pull up a loop to do that standing double crochet. If you want to change colors, you could join your yarn in that first space. So I twirl it around the hook, insert my hook, and then just double crochet as normal. I prefer this to do with the same color as the previous round because it's very obvious where you should start. Chain 1, another granny cluster in the next space. The fun part about this row is that we are changing the direction of the corner. We are changing where the corner is placed. So we're going to do that 3rd double crochet cluster. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to turn. So there's your 1, 2, 3 clusters, chain 1, turn your work. You're now going to slip stitch in those first 3 double crochets, 2, 3, and then slip stitch in the space as well. Pull up the loop for your standing double crochet and begin to work clusters again. If you really hate this standing double crochet, the standard way to do this would be to chain 2 and then begin working double crochet clusters. I prefer to leave off the turning chain because I find that it gives a smoother cluster, but if you really hate the standing double crochet that I'm doing, please feel free to do it the traditional way with the turning chain. So now I have done my 2 clusters right there, 1, 2, and I am going to do my chain and my turn again. Chain 1, turn, and I'm going to slip stitch over to the open space again. So 1 slip stitch in each of those double crochets, slip stitch into the gap, and then I'm going to do my last row, which is just 1 cluster of 3 double crochets. So here it is. You can see I've now created a point off of one of the flat sides of my square. I'm going to cut my yarn and just fasten it off. This square does have a decent amount of ends to weave in, but it's worth it. So now, where am I going to place my second point? You see my 2 corners and my 3 open spaces. I'm going to start in the space directly to the left of that corner. So I'll put a slip knot on my hook, and then just begin working as if my yarn is already attached. So in this space just to the left of the corner, yarn over and begin to double crochet. You see how easy that is? You're just pretending like your yarn is already attached. Now I have all of my corners done. This is what it should look like. Sort of like a compass rose. And this is the motif so far on the right side. You can see each of those top points has 3 stitches. This is important because we are going to begin working the next round in the center stitch. Again, I'm beginning with a slip knot on my hook, and I'm changing colors again just because I can. So in the center of those 3 stitches, I'm going to begin 3 single crochets. In the next stitch over, 1 single crochet. Now I will chain 3, and in that last stitch of the next cluster, 1 single crochet. Chain 3. Again, that last stitch of the next cluster, single crochet. Chain 3. And you see that was the corner, but now it's just the middle of our round. Single crochet, chain 3, and we're just going to keep doing this all the way around. You're single crocheting in each of those corner points and chaining 3 in between, and this is just joining around that motif. Single crochet, chain 3, and lastly right there, there's your single crochet, and now you're beginning again. See, one side complete. Now you're beginning again from the 3 single crochets in that corner. 1, 2, 3, and you're just going to go all along the points on the side again. There's your 1, chain 3, single crochet in the point comes next. Here we are at the edge, or at the end. Don't forget that last single crochet. It'll be right in there in your first double crochet. Now I'm going to slip stitch to join my round, and I'm going to slip over to the middle single crochet so I can start my next row. I'm going to start with a standing double crochet, work 3 of them into that center single crochet from the last row, 1 double crochet in the next, 1 double crochet in the next, And now I'm going to begin the pattern of working 3 double crochets in each of these spaces. And then I'm going to work 1 double crochet in each of the single crochets from the last row. See? So now we're just filling in these gaps all the way around. When we get to the end, there will be 2 double crochets left over before you hit the last corner. Join with a slip stitch, and then slip stitch over into the center double crochet of that cluster. Can you see it? There's 1, 2, 3, and I'm in the center. Next row, single crochet. Now we're going to do, there we go, 3 single crochets, single crochet 2, and I'm going to do a treble post stitch. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook behind that single crochet 2 rows down. See how it sort of lifts it up? Yarn over, pull a loop up, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2. I'll show you this again, don't worry. Now, we're going to do 3 single crochet in those 3 doubles from the last round. 1, 2, 3. And then the treble post stitch again. 2 yarn overs. The hook goes behind that stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then you're just closing it off 2 stitches at a time. And we'll just keep going like this all the way around. Single crocheting in each of those double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then a treble post stitch around that little spot right there. And this will be beginning of that decorative sort of ribbed edging that goes onto this square. So again, here we go, all the way around. For the next round, I'm changing colors again. Time to make a slip knot with my new color. And you can join in any corner. This is where I ended, but I could join here in the center single crochet of any corner. See, 1, 2, 3. I could just join in the single one, or the center one rather, but I think I'll choose this corner. There's my 3 cluster. My hook is going to go in the center single crochet of that corner. So I'm now going to work a single crochet and a double crochet post stitch on the middle double crochet 2 rows down. See how again my hook goes underneath and behind that stitch, and then you just double crochet as normal. And I'm going to single crochet in the same stitch I started in. See how my hook is going in the same spot where that stitch already was? Single crochet. Now I'm going to single crochet 3, 1, 2, 3, and work another double crochet post stitch on that post stitch from before. This is the great thing about crochet ribbing, is that it makes it really easy to find where you're supposed to do those front post stitches. So you're just going to single crochet 3 around, and then when you come to the post stitch, post stitch. Ta-da! Keep going around. 3 single crochet, 2, 3, double crochet post, all the way around. And again, we're just making up another row of this ribbing around. Okay, time for the next row. I have slip stitched into that double crochet post stitch because that's the center of the corner. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, all in the same space. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip one, single crochet. This is a pretty easy round. All you're doing is working sort of that easy linen stitch all the way around. Skip, single, chain. Skip, single, chain. Your skip stitches, your chain stitches should fall over top of those post stitches. See how this one has a gap over that post column? I know I'm on the right track. Now for the last row. You've made it to the last row. Slip knot on my hook. And I'm going to start in that corner, in the chain one space of that corner. It might be a little hard to find. That's okay. You can do it. Hook in, single crochet, chain one, single crochet. Whoopsies. There we go. That's my corner. Now, I should chain one here, but I didn't. Double crochet post on that post below, chain one, single crochet in that space from the previous row, chain one, double crochet post on the post from 2 rows down, chain one, and single crochet in that space. So now we are working a linen stitch with the posts. So it's just going to be chain, single, chain, post. See how that works? The corners are a little bit tricky, but I will show you that when we get there. For now, we're just doing this single chain, post, chain alternating pattern. So here we are just about at the corner. Which post should you work on? That one center post right there. Do your double crochet on that post. I know it's confusing. It'll work, I promise. Chain one. Now do your corner, single crochet, chain one, single crochet in the same spot, chain one. Now you're going to work a post stitch on that same post. This is how we're making the corner. Do you see that? The same one that you already did your double crochet post stitch on is the same one that we're going to work this next post stitch on. Chain one, see, there you go, and it makes your corner. So you can keep going now in the same pattern that you were already going until you get to the next corner, and it'll give you, ta-da! Now, when you get to the last corner, you are going to work your post stitch below the one that is already in existence, so all of the corners will look the same. Chain one and join with a slip stitch to your first single crochet. Find your scissors. Cut your yarn. Weave in your ends because there's going to be a lot of them, but look at this. You've done it! Hooray! Thanks for watching, guys.